We're back. So if you're seeing this, I haven't smashed the gimbal up yet, which is a good thing, but I haven't got a clue what I'm doing and it is driving me up the wall. I didn't know what I was doing before, I still don't know what I'm doing, and I completely forgot how to use it. Keeps cutting out, but hopefully we'll get there. We did have some big plans for the channel. Actually bought a lot of projects since the last time I recorded anything, but as life would have it, you know, things change and we just haven't had the time or the money to do it. But I've got something that I need to do. It's a personal project, so it's going to get done, so I thought I might as well put it on the channel. Someone might benefit from it, maybe not, but it's worth throwing up anyway. So at the start of 2015, someone decided to open up their door in traffic and smash up my lovely 2001 VXR180. I've had it for about 2 years now, and I absolutely love these things. They came out when I was growing up in the UK and stuff like that, and you know, not even just the nostalgic value, but they are just great commuters and I ride it every day. So that happened about a year ago, start of 2025, and I've been looking for one for ages, and I literally got to the point where I was going to buy a Yamaha X-Max because I couldn't find one, and just as I was about to bite the bullet, I found another one and I picked it up absolutely dirt cheap, and that's what this video is going to be. It's going to be the Gilera Runner VXR200 restoration job. The 180 is now the parts bike, and this is the new one. It's done 9,000 Ks. It cost me nearly as much to transport as what I paid for it, so absolute peanuts. And it's a diamond in the rough. A lot of sun damage, so there's going to be a bit of paint, maybe reupholstery, I don't know. We're going to see if the seats are interchangeable. I think the foam on this is slightly different to that one, but we'll get into all that sort of stuff. It's got pitted forks, no doubt the fork seals are knackered. This one's got a bit better fork legs, so we'll use them, and anything that we can get off of the 180 we're going to use to build the 200. So I actually found one, I'm buzzing. Good start to 2026 for me. You know, hopefully this video benefits someone else. If not, I'm going to have a good time doing it. So this is the project, this is what we're doing. First port of call, give this one a good clean up, and then we'll get her in the garage and we'll get her completely stripped down, check the fuel lines, drain the tank, clean the carb. I mean, it's going to need a full service, filter, oil, gear oil, do the belts, check the rollers. Brakes need servicing, masters need doing. So yeah, pretty, you know, big job. You know, a few small jobs that make one big job, and that's where we're at. So stay tuned and we'll get into it. That's looking a damn sight better. Seat fitted. It isn't off, but I do prefer the one that was on there, but it looks alright. How clean that's come up. Still got a few unwanted Molossi stickers on there, which we'll get rid of. Pumped the tyres up, freed up the front brake. She is showing some potential. So now it's time to get her in the garage, get her on the bench and get her knickers off. Have a go at how dirty this thing is. Absolutely anything and everything's been living in this. I don't know if I said in the previous video or previous clip that it's been sat under a carport for many years. So yeah, pretty much everything and anything that can perish is perished on it. So it's going to be invaluable having the 180, because all these lines are absolutely perished, and it's like a spaghetti junction in here because they all connect up to all these little boxes and here, there and everywhere. I mean, you're probably right with a manual, but it's just easier to have something to look at and go back to. So we'll strip down that 180 at some point so we can get all the lines done, but I think the next job will be wrap up all the electricals. Any entrance to the engine we'll just we'll pack with some cloth and stuff like that to stop any water getting in, and we'll get this out and degrease it and get all that dirt off. I'll have to find a home for all the panels that come off. Everything's intact, there's no broken tabs, touch wood, probably shouldn't have said that. And everything is really nice, so these will get a real good wash. Anything that's sun damaged will be getting paint, so this should come up really nice. Again, touch wood, probably shouldn't have said that either, but yeah, so far so good. Took a little bit longer. We had a few bolts and screws that didn't want to come out to play, but we got them out without damaging. So next thing, get this back outside, make it watertight and give it a good clean. So everything just bagged and taped up. All the connectors, just don't want to get any water in any of them, especially the ECU, fuse box, all those bits and pieces. Hopefully that'll keep the water out, or at least the majority of the water out, but fingers crossed, because we don't want no other issues. I've been and got a load of stuff for the bike, so we've got some degreaser. We're going to take it outside now, jet wash it, degrease it, jet wash it again, just get rid of all this dirt and that. Actually, I need to plug up this. I'll just jam a rag. We'll jam a rag in there for now. We've got a new battery, we've got some degreaser, we've got fork oil, fork seals, oil filter, oil, transmission fluid. We had that from the VXR180. We've got some .4 brake fluid, and we got some coolant. Still need an air filter for the bike, and a belt. I mean, it's been sat for so long. I mean, even if it's got a new belt on there, I'd rather just change it out while we're at this stage. And we've ordered new Pirelli tyres, which we'll go and get sorted out tomorrow. So now to get it outside and get all this dirt and grime, I'd say grease, but I think the grease is probably all dried up by now, but we give her a good old clean up and move on. Let's go. So that's her jet washed and degreased. She's nice and clean now. So all that dust and all that excess dirt's gone. We're not going too deep with the engine, but you don't really want to be removing parts when you've got all that dust and dirt, because if it gets inside, it can just cause you a problem. It's just nicer to work with a nice clean bike. While I was out here, I drained out all the coolant. So I just left the lid on the reservoir, disconnected this pipe, and then put the hose in there and just pumped all of the old coolant out of the system. And then once that was done, I drained out what was left over of the water that run through the system. So that should be empty now. I've removed all the bags and everything that I had for waterproofing, all the connectors, and the bike's sat outside. It's a nice dry hot day, so it's been out here for 2 hours, so that should have dried everything up nice of anything that did get wet. I think the next job will be get it in the garage, and we'll do the oil filter and the oil. Bike's back up on the bench. First port of call, we are going to remove the exhaust just to give us a little bit more room to play with. Makes life easier, and it's got to come off anyway. So 16mm socket and 6mm Allen head. I think it's just those two there and that one, and then we can just take this section of pipe off and the exhaust is off. So I actually had 3, there's another one here, and the 2 smaller Allen bolts go in this one and this one, and the longer one goes in that one. So next up, we can undo this drain bolt, which is a 24mm socket. There's also, I think if I remember right, there's a little filter in there, so we'll break that off, and then we'll break it loose. Sorry, we'll break it off, we'll be fucking fuming. And then we'll get the oil filter off and just drain out all this oil. As with changing oil on any bikes, usually a messy job, and I just stick a bit of cardboard under here. Even though I still made a mess, I made less of a mess than I could have, I guess. Also remember to take off the oil cap around here, and then it will just let everything run out of the tank. I just used the litre jug, so we should be alright. She's got a slow little drainage coming out still, but that's that. Next will be the oil filter, and I'm going to give that a little blow out with the airline just to get any bits out of there that might be in it. So just give that a clean wash out. Once it's cleaned up, make sure you've got your O-ring on there, and it goes O-ring in first. So I'm going to chuck that back in, put that nut back on, and then I'll take the oil filter off. Now we've had a little tidy up, we're going to get this out. So as you see with the new one, this one actually has like a little bolt head on it, and that one has this kind of massive Phillips screw head on there. Sorry, flat head. It's got like a massive flat head on there. So what do we use? We use a massive flat head, or anything you can get, just a bit of alley. So this is, well, it should be a high flow HF197, but this is an RP197, RP just being the brand, and this is just the replacement part for the HF197. So we'll get that off, and then we'll put this one on. So we'll fill it up with some oil. I'm using 10 weight 40. You're supposed to use, or it's recommended you use 5 or 10, but they didn't have any 5, so I'm just going with the 10 fully synthetic. So we'll chuck a little bit in there, we'll rub a bit of oil around the oil seal, and we'll simply just change them out. With this specific brand of oil filter, it's a 17mm nut on the end there. Some of them don't have them, some of them are like that other one with the flathead bit, some of them just don't have anything. But you don't have to do them up, so don't tighten the nuts off of them. You know, you can just get them, you know, tighten them up hand tight, and they're good to go. So don't go crazy with them, because you don't want to strip the threads on this thing. Now we're coming round to this side of the bike. I don't have a smaller funnel, so that'll make do. It's going to do the job. Just make sure it's all clean, give it a blowout with the airline. These take a litre, 1.1 litres with the oil filter. So if you top up the oil filter, you need to put a litre in this side, which I recommend. And obviously if you haven't done that, then make sure you get 1.1 litres in here. If I remember rightly, double check this, because I'm pretty sure, but I haven't looked it up since I've done it last. When you take the oil on these, you don't wind the dipstick back in to the thread. You actually top it up, and then you sit this in there without threading it in, and that's how you check the oil height. But double check that. But I remember doing it last time I done the 180. So throw the oil in now, and then check the level, and we should be good to go. That's the oil done. I think while we're into it, I'm just going to do the gear oil, the transmission fluid. So you need your 6mm Allen. You're going to need 17mm for your rear shock here. You're going to need a 13mm for the rear shock at the top. This one is a 24, I think. Yep, it's a 24. Also, you're going to need a pair of pliers for your split pin. I've already done that because it's a pain in the ass. So 24. 6mm Allen, 17mm and a 13mm up the top here. There it is, to get the shock out. And then on the other side you'll have, I think it's 5 6mm Allens, and then that way we can take the wheel off and get to the drain bolt. I think I might have to remove the caliper as well. It's been a while since I've done this, but I'll tell you in the next clip. Rear shock's removed, and just for future reference, that's the order that the top fixings go. You've got your little rubber bushing, which is sort of slightly dished, a washer, spring washer, and your nut. So you're going to want to remember that for when it goes back together. On to getting the wheel off. Now the wheel's off. So because you're usually fine with all this, I mean with anything really, is there's a process that everything goes on, comes off and goes back on the same way. You know, like this sleeve here, this little bushing or spacer, you know, whatever it is, this nut, you know, the cap, the split pin. So for instance, I might not get back to doing this, you know, anytime soon. And if it's the first time doing it, easiest thing to do is just put everything back exactly how it came off. Leave all the correct length bolts in the right places. Then that way when you come back to doing a job, you'll know where it goes, rather than scratching your head or pulling up a parts diagram to find out what order they go in. And that can apply to any job, doesn't matter what bike you're working on. Anyways, so now we're at the point where we wanted to be at, and that is this drain bolt. I mean, you probably could have got to it. Sorry, is there a drain bolt there? 6mm Allen head. I probably could have got to it, but I mean, the wheels have got to come off anyway because I need to go get new tyres. So for me, it had to come off. I'm pretty sure you can get to it without doing all this. But it just makes it a lot easier, and I've got to do this anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. So, get our little jug. These have about 150mm, I think. I'll double check. It's 130 or 150, one or the other. And there she is. And then same as with the doing the oil, you want to remove the cap, because then that will allow everything to run a bit freer. There you go. Now we've got a steady flow. Looks nice and clean actually, which is good. So we'll let it drain and then we'll top it up. And you'll notice on here as well the little brass washer, so don't lose that. Oh, sorry, there, filming by hand today, so I'm a bit off, but there you go. Drain that, put this back in, and then we can top it up. So we're ready to top her up. You want SAE 80W90, and it's 150mm capacity. I thought it was 130, but apparently it's 150, so 150 it is. It doesn't really make much reference to anyone else, but this is an 80mm, so I'll just put just under 2 in these, and that will give me 150. Do up your drain bolt, don't go crazy again, and tighten the nuts off of it, and it's just as simple as getting the syringe in the hole, and bosh, I've already done one. So that's the second one, and we should have 150. So just get rid of the dregs, and we should have a 150 and the right measurement on the dipstick. So we'll just check that now. So that's a wrap for today. What did we get done? We've stripped the bike down, we've cleaned it, degreased it, flushed out all the coolant, which needs to be topped up. We'll probably do that in one of the other videos. Oil filter, transmission fluid. Just need to get the front wheel out, and I'll take the wheels to get new tyres tomorrow. I've chucked the battery on trickle charge, and I'll just leave that until we need it, so it's good to go when we do use it. Yeah, plenty left to do. New belt, new spark plug, service the forks, new fork legs. I checked the fork legs on the 180 and they're spotless, so they'll be going in this bike. We need to service the brakes, we need to do the brake masters. Yeah, plenty of bits and pieces still to do, so if you've got one and you're doing it, subscribe, or, you know, I mean, if you're watching this in the future, then there's probably a playlist of all the bits and pieces anyway. Like I say, probably a million videos of this, but something for the channel. I've got to do it anyway, so if someone benefits from it, then happy days. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.